with diastasis recti. It's a separation of the abdominals that happens during pregnancy. Most people are very concerned with the gap, the space between the left and the right side. But what's more important is the amount of tension that we have within that space. Here's how to check to see how do you know if you have DRA? Well, I just shared a reel that tells you how you can do an at-home check for yourself. Other signs and symptoms that you may have DRA is low back pain, you're exercising and your joints and your limbs hurt, pain with sex, urinary incontinence, constipation, a protrusion of your belly, like you're always bloated. Also, very frequent when you're lifting something up or exercising, there may be doming or coning at the belly. Do you see that? That's DRA, or there's a coning or doning at the belly button, or the midline of the belly. Can you heal DRA? 100% yes, you can. Doesn't matter if you're 6 months postpartum or 6 years postpartum. Your body is made up of muscles and tissues, and those can be strengthened. It's just a matter of what you're doing to get to that goal. Now, it used to be all about the gap, like how big is your gap, and the gap would dictate whether your quality of life. But now we know that it's the tension on your abdominals that dictates the quality of your life. So you can have a bigger than normal gap. Anything larger than 2 fingers is considered DRA. I have a 2.5 finger gap, and it started with a 3, so it didn't shrink that much, but I have really good tension. And the tension, so the gap is that coning or doning or space, and you manage the pressure of that with your breath work and your core. So your core, those transverse abdominals that wrap all the way around your belly, that's what creates good abdominal tension within that space. And you can create that too for yourself too. So you've had it for a lot of years, and you don't feel like it's gotten any better, even though you're regular about working out. So go back to, are you measuring the tension or are you measuring the gap? Measure the tension. How firm is it right here? Then go back to, what do my workouts look like? What am I doing? How is my breathing and my support overload? What that means is you need to be managing pressure while you're exercising and lifting up heavy objects. So if you're picking up a weight or doing a bicep curl, you have to be exhaling as you're lifting. If your breath work is opposite, if you're inhaling as you're lifting, so you're lifting this heavy weight up and you're not giving your body the support that it could really use, you're actually adding to the problem by creating intra-abdominal pressure. Now, if you notice after your workouts that you have back pain, knee pain, elbow pain, shoulder pain, that to me is a red flag that your core is doing more work than it is capable of doing. So like your body will find ways to compensate and support what you're asking 100% of the time. So if you're squatting heavy weight or you're lifting heavy weight and you don't have a fully rehabilitated core or you don't have a strong core, your back will do the support for you. Your hips will do the support for you. Your knees will support for you. So if those limbs and joints are aching, listen up and check in. How can I strengthen my core to absorb some of that load? Because if your core is not strong, other joints are going to compensate to do what you're asking of your body. Yes, DRA can be healed 12 months postpartum. I am going to hope that part of that question was either typed wrong or heard wrong or communicated wrong between you and the therapist, because I don't know any physical therapist in my Rolodex that would tell someone with DRA to have another baby in order to heal it. You definitely want to heal that tissue prior to getting pregnant and having another baby, because that's going to make your pregnancy easier and your postpartum recovery easier. Now, women can go through pregnancies, multiple pregnancies, and then realize that they want to heal it or have a problem to fix after multiple babies, but you definitely want to fix it when you notice there's a problem, because not fixing it and then exacerbating load could make the issue worse. Your symptoms are going to be much better. You're going to feel much stronger. Yes, the gap can be a measure of it healing, but more importantly than the gap is the tension. So checking the tension. Do you have good tension when there's load? Can you initiate good intra-abdominal pressure? Can you initiate good load when asked? When you're doing exercises, does that pressure management come on automatically? So when you're lifting a leg, does your core fire? Or do you get a bulge? those are factors that I would measure to indicate whether or not it's healed. More than likely, you're always going to have to manage intra-abdominal pressure, meaning be aware and think about what your abdominals and what your breath is doing under certain amounts of tension and load. Exercises to improve DRA. I share a lot of stuff for you guys that is all good and great for DRA. The important thing to know is that there are no bad exercises for DRA. It's all in how you're doing them and how you're managing the intra-abdominal pressure. So, meaning, if you notice in any exercise that you're doing, there's a bulge, then that's your red flag to change the exercise, change your breath, change your form, so that you can do it in a way that you're managing better pressure. So I did that plank, since I see it a lot with planks. I love cross body exercises for DRA because that helps to create neuromuscular communications with the left and the right side and kind of bridging that left and right side together. Also, upper body to lower body exercises where there's a little bit of resistance and pressure are great for DRA, but the most important thing is to just pay attention to the intra-abdominal. I am not sure about that one, but one of the most important things you can do during pregnancy is to do what you can to maintain a strong transverse abdominal core. So you're going to get stretching during pregnancy no matter what. It's supposed to. That's what happens. But what you can do to be preventative and add more support for your pregnancy and your postpartum recovery is to do hug the baby exercises where you're wrapping the transverse abdominals together and pulling the belly button in and up. So I'll show you the pregnancy exercise that you can do to maintain your transverse abdominals.
During pregnancy, the transverse abdominals overstretch to support the growth of the baby. This overstretching also weakens the abdominal wall. So doing an exercise like this helps you strengthen, keep active, and is diastasis recti. It's a separation of the abdominals that happens during pregnancy. Most people are very concerned with the gap, the space between the left and the right side. But what's more important is the amount of tension that we have within that space.